Hey everybody. So I was going to come on tonight and do an unboxing. I was going to go through one of my boxes here on the shelf. I actually have some projects in a couple of these, and in some of them I have just needles and different things that I don't really have a place to put them, so I just will put them in a box and have all my little odds and ends in that box. And some of these boxes actually have more fabrics in them that at one time I was thinking of they blended, or this is all flannel, that's all this kind, that sort of thing. So I have some projects made up, and some of the boxes I just have different fabrics that I didn't really have a plan for. But anyhow, I was going to go through one of those and see if I have a project already in one of the boxes or if it's just fabric. If I don't have a project already, I think I'm going to take one of my kits over here and maybe work on that. But before I go to the unboxing, I actually have another project that I'm working on right now. I'm not quite finished with the last quilt I did. I have a little bit of quilting left to do on it, and then I'll get it bound and I'll show you that. But I've actually kind of been working on another project in between, and so this is an ongoing project. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and do an unboxing and maybe pick one of the quilt kits that I can do up fairly quickly. And then this is an ongoing project that I'm going to be using my scraps for. So actually, this little piece right here that I'm showing you is 1.5 inch half square triangles that I had from the latest quilt that I've done, and I just put it together in this little block format right here. And I actually started going through a lot of my other half square triangles. So I've always been a quilter that likes to do the stitch and flip method when I'm making a quilt, and I like to go around to the other side and stitch that little half square triangle down as well. So I'll get a little cut off piece that's maybe would normally just be just this one little piece, but because I go ahead and sew a seam in it while I'm sewing that other piece together, I actually already have created a half square triangle for myself. So I am actually going through a lot of these cutoffs, and some of them are very, very small. But most of them I can do at least a 1.5 inch half square triangle, or I may have to cut it down to a 1 inch half square triangle. And so I have several of them cut already, pressed and cut already, and I've started laying them out in different style blocks. So this was the first one that I did, and I just went with this kind of pattern. I've got a couple others laid out in different style, maybe like a churn dash, or just kind of laying them out in a different way, maybe a star or something like that. And because they're all going to be different fabrics as well, so like this block was all from one quilt, and then I've got several others, so like you can see that a lot of these were from a similar, this was all from the same project right here, and in fact I think these were as well. And so these I will probably put together in the same block. As you can see, these still have to be ironed out and then squared up, cut. So this is going to be a very little block, but my ultimate goal is to make them all equal 8.5 inch squares, and then put together a sampler quilt. And like I said, they're all going to be different colors. They were from different projects, but this is kind of a way of me seeing a block in the same quilt from each of the quilts that I've done recently, or done in the last couple of years actually. And some of the pieces that I maybe don't have enough of to really do an 8.5 inch square block, I will probably put them all together, and maybe it'll be an 8.5 inch square block of its own, of just different little pieces from different quilts, or I might just make it into a hot pad, something like that. As you can see, I kind of did some of them already. I must have been starting to think maybe I'd need a couple pinwheels for a hot pad or something like that. So I've got a couple of these started already, so I may just put them in my 8.5 inch square. And I've apparently sewn these together but didn't finish making the pinwheels, so I'll probably finish making the pinwheels and then, you know, somehow put these in together to equal out to an 8.5 inch block. This might be a situation where I have to do some strips around it, something like that. But I'm just gonna, yeah, make that into a block. You know, make these into a block. Maybe I'll put these in with this. It looks like I had a bunch of 2.5 inch squares left. In fact, if these are 2.5 inch squares, I may just put them into another, yeah. I am just going to put these over here. They can go into a 2.5 inch square project. But yeah, so I've just been kind of cutting all these down to size and making blocks out of each of my projects. So some of these I've got ironed out already, so I'm just kind of taking those to work and cutting them on my lunch hour, that sort of thing. Some of these I got to get ironed, and some of them I still got to finish. So anyhow, I'm going to set these off to the side here. I need to finish going through the jar. Put this back over here. Now, let's see, which box should I go through? Kind of curious what's in this one. So, you restack some fabric here. You can see why I need to get doing as many projects as I can. Might need to be getting to sell some more projects here. Alright. Let's go through this one. Ooh. It's a big heavy one. I'm betting this might be more fabrics than actual projects. Yep. So it's a variety of fabrics. So I honestly don't think that's going to fit on my shelves. But this was kind of a good one to go ahead and open, because Easter, probably need to do an Easter project. Yep. That's kind of why I was aiming for that one, because I thought I remembered that there was some Easter stuff in there. And in fact, very much Easter stuff. Alright, this is kind of perfect. Yay! And lots of bunnies. More bunnies. It's kind of a variety. More of a grown-up bunny. And more of a little bunny. Oh, that's so cute. Looks like we got just a bunny face. So that's cute. Some flowers with the bunny face. And some little, like, flowery stars. Looks like I just kind of threw in some pinks. Feel like I have another one of that somewhere. But that's a good blender. Let's see if I can put some of this up close. So I can kind of see why I put some of these in together. The brown's kind of throwing me off why I put that in there. It was probably just the only space I had at the time. Let's move this back a little bit here. So some pink bunnies, pink and gray. Looks like I had some kitty fabric. I think I have some other kitty fabric. This actually looks more like dog prints than cat prints. So I've got some dog fabric down there. I'll put that with that. Alright, so I don't know how I ever got some Kewpie fabric. Must have got that in the D-stash. And it looks like I just have some solids and a little elephant. This can go with my baby stuff over here. And yeah, mostly solids. A couple of almost like bandana fabric. Brown. And a nice floral. That would be like a nice bag lining. Let's see. Here I've got, I feel like I got some of this at Walmart. It's still pretty good blender fabrics. Or, you know, pretty good bundles that you get at Walmart. So this was from a dresser runner that I made a couple years ago. So that's kind of all a bundle of its own. And then these could be more pinks to go with, sort of go with those. I bet that went with that. And just some different, I must have had some different fat quarters at one point. There's an owl and bear and a fox and a rabbit. So that's a cute little bundle and a nice little brown. More of the bears and fox and rabbits. So that's its own bundle. The oranges and the, so this was actually from a different project that I'd done, and it was just what was left over. So that would make a cute little baby blanket. I know this stuff doesn't necessarily read baby quilt, but that would be so cute. Alright, elephants. I've got more of that somewhere, so I'll set that off to the side. This was, I feel like this was kind of a cheater fabric. Yeah, I don't know if I ever used any of this. I think this was the only scrap I had. And I couldn't quite figure it out, so I just put it with the bundle of yellow. Which that actually goes with that. So just put it with a bundle of yellow. So that should be bundled up. And then these are all solids. And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to pull some of my other solids off of the shelf here and just put them back in this box, and I'll put it back on the cabinet there. And that way I'll know where my solids are, and I can make this a go-to box. Like I said, I do know what's in most of them. I just don't get into them all very often. But if I specifically know that there are solids in this one, I'll get into it quite a bit. So, alright, well, I feel like I didn't actually get a project out of this, but I am working on the Scrappy block project. But as I said, I'll be working on this for a while. And I don't know, when I get down to it, I might just set them on point. Kind of depends on what styles I decide to do the other blocks in. I got all kinds of different ideas for a sampler. So, alright, well, don't know if I should go ahead and pick a project to start now or just continue doing reorganization. So actually I have another box here that I was going through the other day. So maybe this will be my next project. Probably not. I have a whole bunch of 2.5 inch squares left over from a quilt. And I think these are 2 1/4 maybe. And then some scraps from the back. And so I've been thinking about maybe doing a table runner or something. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this right now. Definitely got a couple of extra projects that I need to get done, so I might just say, you know what, I'm going to do an Easter project. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an Easter project, and then I'm going to work on this project kit right here. This is one of the ones that I got from Soya Brothers, from Soya Quilting. I still want to call them Soya Brothers, but really, it's just Soya. But yeah, I think that'll be the one. Alright, let's pull off my solids, if I can find them all. Out of here. Here we go. Okay, so I've got a variety of solids actually. And that's not really solid, but it reads as a solid, so I feel like I have some more stuffed in there, but that made a little bit of room, so we'll call it good. All right. Let's see here. Okay, and I need to go through some of this stuff here. Let's bundle it up. Okay, so this is going to be a bundle. This is going to be a bundle. Just kind of looking over here too to see if there's anything that I can add to these. I got some more solids here that I'm going to get into the box. That's not a solid, that goes with that one. This is the one that I was thinking of. It is different though. And this one here. Starts kind of the same color. I just wonder in all of these, so I got a little print, medium. I would call that to be one of the larger bunnies. These two are about the same size, although actually that's more the whole bunny, and this is just the bunny face. This would be a large print in this particular bundle. Words, small print, and little chicks, little lamb, little bunnies, slightly larger size bunnies and lambs. So that's a very cute Easter bundle right there. So I don't need these to go with it. And I don't think I need that pink in there either. There isn't really a solid, but I think I'm okay with that. Maybe, I don't know, if I need sashing or something, that's not really enough, so why don't we do this? That's a little bit different pink, but it would blend, be somewhere in between the background in this color and the ears of the bunny. So, different, but would blend okay. And in fact, I don't know, hard to tell under this light. Are they the same? I guess we'll see. And then the bunny, and then kind of a woodsy bunny, and a woodsy owl. What did I do with the owls? Yeah, and it's a different owl. So see, like, and although not really, this goes with this. So, does all of this go with this? I feel like it does. But this feels very different. Feels like that bunny is much bigger than that owl. So, I don't know. But if you wanted to mix pink with your aqua, that would work. So, let's go ahead and put all of this together in the same bundle. And see, like, the color here is the same, but like that butterfly, it's not really part of this set right here. But it could be. I could do that. I can do whatever I want, right? And I could put this with it, because that's more blue than aqua, but who knows. And I may just go to make something out of part of this and not use the rest of it. I just keep looking around because there's bound to be something else that I would put with this bundle. You ever get like that? Oh, the green. I would probably put the green with it. Alright, so we'll call that a bundle. Okay, I'm going to start putting some stuff over here. Green. What does this say? Think happy thoughts. Da, da. That's a little... Okay. These all go here. This is all the Easter Bunny bundle that I'm going to work on right now. These two I have sitting somewhere, so I gotta take care of those. That I got sitting somewhere. This is a bundle of its own. I feel like I should have a brown that this goes with. Although that's a polka dot. But I feel like there's a bigger bundle that this should be with here. And just a couple of extra florals. These, I feel like I know where these are, but I can't think right now, so we'll just bundle them up. Alright, bundle, bundle, bundle. Yardage, yardage, flowers. Okay. Well, I haven't really gotten rid of anything, but I've got a plan. These need to go over on my other cabinet. Maybe that next, and maybe something out of this. Alright, sounds like a plan. Okay, so I have a plan to do an Easter project. Now I just need to figure out what that project should be. Should it be a table runner? A quilt? I mean, this is an awful lot of fabric for a table runner. So, of course, I could do a table runner, a double-sided table runner, where part of it really is Easter eggs and part of it really is just springtime looking. Always just flip it over, right? Flowers for spring. Bunnies and eggs for Easter. 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 Bunnies. Chicks and lambs. Yeah. I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe a quilt. That's an awful lot. I gotta pick a pattern that needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. At least 13 fat quarters. And I think some of these are halves. Well, actually they're eighths. Some of them are eighths. So, but only those, I think only those 4. I think the rest are at least fat quarters. 13. Wow, that's an awful lot. Alright, well, I'm going to go looking through my patterns and see what I come up with. Either that or I'm just going to start winging it. Sounds like a plan. So this is how I starch my fabrics. Don't really like spray aerosols, so I take Stay Flow, put some water in it. So trying to think, concentrated. I don't really go for the heavy concentrate, but concentrated. And then you just add so many parts water, squeeze it out, let it dry out, then I'll iron and cut. And that way it has some stiffness to it while I'm trying to work with it. Now obviously I don't do this for pre-cuts, but I do for anything over a quarter yardage. Unless I'm using that quarter yardage with pre-cuts, then I just don't do it. But if I'm using a whole lot of quarters and half yards, I go ahead and starch. I find it easier to cut easier to sew, etc. This must have been a 1/8 bundle here. Uh-oh, having some trouble getting them on my rack here. Should have moved it out into the middle of this little room here. Okay. And I think this is a couple of fat quarters, yep. I think I came up with a cute idea for this. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I've got so many different fabrics here. I've got some of them that are laying on top of each other, so this might not be, I may have to let some of them dry and then separate them a little bit more. And I want to get rid of as much of this kind of stuff as I can because I try to save my starch. You can't save it for very long because it'll get a grimy, gross, ugh. But I can usually do a couple projects with this. So if I just did this one project and then poured this back in the bottle and then didn't get into it for months, it would have a slimy, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I'm sure that the starch is doing something that's making it gross. It's probably growing something and that's not very good. So I'm going to do all of these. And then I'm going to come up with some projects that I'd like to do next and starch all of those. And so I'm going to spend like the next week doing a project starching a project each day. And then I'll just box them up and I'll work on the rest of them later on. But that way I make good use of this without having to try and store it and keep it good. And then the next project that I go to do, this process will already be done. And it's literally, 15, 20 minutes at a time. So I can do maybe 4 or 5 projects this week and have them starched and dried and put away and ready for when I'm ready to make the actual quilt. I must have had a couple of fat quarter bundles that I took apart and used parts of, and then put them all together, because I've got like 2 fat quarters per pattern or per fabric. So I probably did some Easter project a while back. Actually, it looks like I got 3 of this one. Huh. Either that or... So yeah, D-stash, maybe I got a couple different bundles and they all had the same fat quarter, which is fine with me. It just gives me more material to work with of the same thing. The only thing I don't like about this project is if you spray starched, you wouldn't have all those wrinkles. So I will have a lot of wrinkles to iron out when this is done. But honestly, you gotta iron out the wrinkles that are set in from having it folded. So it's really not that big a deal. Let's see. This must be 2 or 3 pieces. Yep. So it must have had 3 fat quarters. 3 bundles, maybe. And just in case anybody thinks this is my kitchen sink, it's not. It's my hobby room. So, just in case you were worried about how not so nice it is. It's pretty nice for a hobby room. And a hobby room is not really a room. It's like a 4x8. Well, actually, probably bigger than that, about an 8x8. It just slants, so it feels a little bit smaller. But it's off the attic space. So it does have a nice little window, and it does make a nice little room for doing all your different projects. I do paint, I do obviously quilts, seedlings. I got some soap making supplies up here. I haven't done any of that recently. All kinds of stuff. All right, just a few more to go here. And I don't really leave it to soak. I just get it in there, squeeze it out, let it dry. And I'll show you when it's dry how starched it is. It's not super stiff. I want it to still be workable. I just want just a little bit of stiffness to it. Not a lot. Okay, and I got 3 pieces left, or 2 pieces left. Good thing I only got 2 pieces left, because I'm not sure I got enough room for the 2 pieces even. I'm gonna have to stack them a little bit more. I'll have to spread them out later. Actually, I might just do this. Put one right here on the sink. Should open that a bit more. Oh, such cute little bunnies and lambs. So fabric is all starched. It has not been ironed yet. As you can see, it's not too bad, and it's not too heavy of a starch. It's not like it's standing up on its own. But just enough to make it a little bit, give it a little bit more thickness to it, I guess is what I want to say. So, yep, not ironed yet, not cut yet. I do have the start of a plan for the project that I want to do, but this is as far as I'm getting right now, and hopefully I'll have a project for you next week before Easter. Not sure if I'll be totally done. It might not get done until next Easter. All right, thanks for watching.